I should be live. Oh no, I don't have my beautiful background music. Just a moment. There we go. Background music activated. All right. Hello. I am live again. Here we are. Thursday evening, the usual time, the usual day to do some more Lego building. This case, of course, USS Enterprise. There's some dust on here. This is what I did in the previous three parts. This is essentially the first half of the build because I stopped exactly at bag number 15 out of 30. And now I'm also onto the second instruction manual. Of course, in addition to building this, I did the shuttlecraft that came with it, the gift with purchase. Not in the frame right now. These are the minifigures. By the way, the minifigure of the gift with purchase is in the frame, Ro Laren. So there's that. But yeah, back to building some Legos this evening. If you are watching this either live or on the replay, hello and welcome. Please sound off in the live chat if you're watching live, or leave a comment after the fact. Please leave a like on the video. It helps me out. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, of course. I know it's usual rigmarole. Everyone has to say it. I'm saying it as well. So, how's everyone doing? I am back from my weekend in Liverpool. See, I'm back here. No one's watching just yet. So, for the moment, I'm just going to focus on the build, which, by the way, I just need to put the build on the side because I think I'm starting with the saucer section. Yeah. So this part of the build is going to go like no on the side, like where the minifigures are. Is there a way that I can put this on the side that you can still see that I have it built? And then I have this place clear for me to build the saucer section, bag number 16. So there you go. So my current state is that I'm actually on like a very long vacation until January 5th. Next couple of weeks, I'm going to have a lot of time for myself. And I've been using it today, actually. Because I will say, despite the fact that I didn't work last week and this week, I have had plenty of things to do. So there's part of me that's actually glad that I don't have to work because busy couple of weeks. So that's good. But today was like the first day ever since I didn't have my work where I was like, okay, I'm able to relax. Also because today I got the official confirmation of my new job, which I'm starting on January 5th. I'm happy with it. I got actually on Monday there was half a day that I went there to just see what it's like to work there for half a day, like 8 to 12. So that was cool. Because yeah, the past couple of weeks have been busy, trying, emotional, but it's starting to look up, so that's nice. I don't need to build something twice here, right? We're just gonna go with that. Well, I don't really see a lot of people watching right now, so I'm just gonna put on a video. Someone tunes in. All right, I was switching driver ratings. I was like, where was I in this video? I was here. Hey, I was watching a video on YouTube. I was like 18 minutes in or something. It completely forgot that I was there. So I need to like guess where I was. Thanks, YouTube. How would you fucking remember it? Tomo. Jeez. Come on. You put George. Oh, for fuck's sake, come on. Opinions are like coffee. Just- Many people have it. How did we get to a point that George is the second driver? Mac 16 builds. I'm not entirely sure what it is. So we're on to bag 17. Bag 17, and we're 17 minutes in. Coincidence? Yes, it is coincidence, by the way. Oh wait, now I need a different video. But YouTube. Oh, I'm completely forgetting about tomorrow or today. Kind of depends. I'll just do my thing. So today, 10 years ago, crazy to think that it's been 10 years. 10 years ago today, the 18th of December, I sat down at I think about 4:30 in the afternoon in the IMAX theater to watch the return of Star Wars to the big screen with The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens turned 10 today. Tomorrow, in honor of that, we're going to do a watch along over on the And I Quote channel. Do I have a link in the description of this video? If I don't, I'm an idiot and I should change that right the fuck now. I really should. So let me just, I have it here. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna copy this into the description of this video and then hope that the live stream is still okay. If it's not, then fuck it. There. All right, now it's in the description, at least it should be. So, yeah. All right. So, in the description below is a link to the Force Awakens 10-year anniversary watch-along that we are going to do tomorrow over on the And I Quote channel, which I am very excited for because I remember sitting in that theater watching a Star Wars movie for the first time on the big screen. I'm not going to count Clone Wars, by the way. Like, yes, technically the first ever Star Wars movie that I watched in a theater was the Clone Wars, but I'm not going to count that one because I don't really consider it a movie. I consider it like 3 episodes of the show. They're not particularly good episodes, for being fair. So yeah, like the grand return of live-action Star Wars movies for the first time in 10 years at the time. Because, of course, we had Revenge of the Sith turning 20 this year, but The Force Awakens turns 10. And, yeah, I will never forget that moment because, to me, I feel like at the time I had kind of fallen out of love with Star Wars a little bit. Like I was not really the biggest fan of the Clone Wars at the time. That also like my appreciation for the Clone Wars came later, more. But at the time, I wasn't the biggest fan. I wasn't watching Rebels just yet. It was only after The Force Awakens that I started to watch Rebels, and then I got into that like this. I got sucked into that, and like with The Force Awakens, there was a certain spark in me that made me a Star Wars fan. Um, which weird to say because it's like, why would you not be a Star Wars fan if you are one? It's difficult to explain. Things happen in life, but like The Force Awakens was such a welcome return to the franchise for me. I really adore the movie. I have actually seen it 17 times in the theater. I know it's excessive, but it's the number. It's the number of times that I went to watch The Force Awakens in the theater. It's a lot. So tomorrow, go over to the And I Quote channel and subscribe to them if you haven't already. They are more, of course, a regular movies channel rather than a Star Wars channel. But the host, Ryan, is a bit of a Star Wars fan. And I am on fairly often. So I would recommend you go there, check that out. Definitely check out the watch along tomorrow. I think we're going to have a grand old time because, The Force Awakens over the past couple of years has also done a lot, there has also been a lot of media around The Force Awakens that has. How do you say that? Like essentially altered the perception of certain moments in The Force Awakens a little bit. For example, episodes of Resistance, of course, The Last Jedi, being so close to it because there had never been a Star Wars movie that had been where we had gotten a sequel to it that was just after the movie. Of course, I'm not really talking about Rogue One. Rogue One, yes, it does end like 10 minutes before the start of A New Hope. But just the fact that the sequel picked up right where Force Awakens left off, in terms of all the other movies, every single sequel that was ever made would take place at least a year after the previous one. And in my personal opinion, I think, like a lot of people might disagree on that, but that's fine. I personally think that The Last Jedi really complements The Force Awakens in a lot of ways. A lot of good ways. That's my take on that. But I was actually like saying earlier that today had been like the first day where, outside of the fact that I actually did go out this morning to have my workout because I'm autistic and I'm very much about like getting my steps in. So I needed to get 10,000 steps in. I needed to cycle a certain amount. So I went to the gym. I went 40 minutes onto a treadmill and then another 10 minutes onto a stationary bike to make sure that I got my movement in for the day. And like I came home, I had lunch, and then I did something that I've been wanting to do for years, actually. Because years and years ago, I made my own personal edit of the original trilogy. Because when it comes to the original trilogy, there have been 10 billion versions of it, and none of them are my ideal version. My ideal version is kind of a mixture between the special edition, where, Some of the changes made do improve the movie, and others don't. I'm pretty sure that everyone can guess which ones we don't like. In terms of the ones I do like, there are actually kind of a lot. I think one of the most noticeable ones in terms of the original trilogy special editions that where the change is just better is the face of the Emperor in Empire Strikes Back. I don't think anyone can dispute the fact that the face in the original movie of The Empire Strikes Back doesn't look very good, especially considering what we see in Return of the Jedi. Like the face in Empire looks completely different from what we see in Jedi. So when they made the special editions, they made sure that they had Ian McDermott. So the face looks the same. So that was definitely an improvement in my opinion. That's just one example. Like if I go, like for example, in A New Hope, I think the Battle of Yavin is just better done. Like it, I mean, the CGI on the X-wings just looks better than what we had in the original, and that's nothing against back in the day in 1977. Like I can actually. The funny thing is, if I were to just watch one version of the original movie, that is a complete version, I would watch the original theatrical cut. But luckily, I have like all the versions of every single every single version of the movie I have on my hard drive for editing purposes, so that I can edit something together. And today, like years ago, I already attempted something, but I was looking back at that and I was like, oh, this doesn't look great. I want to just do a proper edit and also subtitle the entire thing. So I re-edited it so that I take out the stupid slapstick humor in the very first movie. That's what really bothers me. Some of the stupid moments, and also just there's entirely too much CGI in that first movie. Like it's mostly in regards to what happens when they get into Mos Eisley. Once they get out of Mos Eisley, the rest of the movie is fine in terms of special edition. But Mos Eisley specifically is where I need to edit in original theatrical cut because. I mean, Han and Greedo. Need I say more? So, yeah, I made an edit where I stitched, the versions together so that I have the scenes that I prefer. And then I also needed to color correct it because that's a very annoying thing that they did with the special edition. The overall look of the special edition is different from the new one because like they upgraded it in a sense. I personally don't think there's much of an issue with the original theatrical cut in terms of the way it looks, but they wanted to color correct certain things, and I'm like, well, fine. Then I need to color correct this to make sure that they look like one another again, which took a while to figure that one out, but eventually I got somewhat in the ballpark. It's not perfect, but it's somewhat close enough. And considering I'm essentially cutting from one version to the other on the moment that a scene cuts from one to another, you don't really notice it, so it's fine. So yeah, the editing on the and by the way, this is about the first movie. I haven't even gotten to Empire or Jedi yet, which I'm sure will be interesting to get to. But yeah, I'm mainly focused on the first movie right now, and I'm already subtitling it, and I'm about 23 minutes in. Which, by the way, that took a while to subtitle. But then again, what else do I have to do? I'm free. It's not entirely true. I still have plenty of things to do. I managed to keep myself busy. But yeah, today, like, I have time for that because tomorrow I doubt I'll have time for that. Like, in terms of like what I'm gonna do, I broke something. In terms of like what I'm gonna do tomorrow, I'm gonna do my grocery shopping. I usually do that on Fridays. Um, oh, I need to turn it on. But yeah, I usually do my grocery shopping on Fridays. Then I'm also gonna go to the gym again, just to get my steps in, to get my cycling in. Um, then in the evening, I'm actually gonna see an old colleague of mine who also happens to be my DM in my real life D&D campaign. Because the thing is, we don't play D&D that often, and we wanted to plan something for December, but the rest of the people couldn't make it. So I was like, okay, do you want to meet? I haven't seen you in a while. He actually got a son quite recently, and I've been through some stuff, so it would be nice to just talk and see him again. So that, and then after I'm back from that, I have the Force Awakens watch along. So I don't think I'll get too much subtitling tomorrow, but it was nice to sit down today, spend a couple of hours on the edit. It was nice. It was nice to just be able to sit down for that because these are the things that I definitely don't get to do all that much when I have a job. There's plenty of other things to do when I have a job. But for the next couple of weeks until January 5th, I don't have a job just yet. I have plenty of time for myself to do things, whatever I want to do. So that's nice. I don't need to make this twice. Hey Greg, how you doing? Oh, you're at the movies. What movie are you seeing? Also, my favorite McLaren livery is definitely the Vodafone Mercedes livery from late 2000s, early 2010s. I need a sticker. Number 3. Oh, Avatar 3, money that I won't be giving. Like, this movie is going to make another 2 billion, and I will not have spent a single cent on it. Also, I know that people will say, but what about the McLaren livery? What about the McLaren livery from the Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Marlboro, like late 80s, early 90s? I'm like, okay, yes, it's very iconic. I just really love the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes livery from the late 2000s, early 2010s. Just my opinion. Wait, are you seriously on your phone during the movie? Because that's bad movie etiquette. Like if I were in the theater with you, ugh, also, that is regardless of the movie, because there have been movies where I've been like, oh my god, this is absolute dog shit. Oh, okay. That's better. That's better. Just you say like you're seeing the CGI. I was like, so are you watching it or not? Oh, here we go. We have the sticker with the misprint. And by the way, I did check. It is misprinted. But there's a certain charm to that. Also, LEGO, you fucked up. So to show what I am talking about, what everyone has probably already said, so most people already know about this. It's nothing new. God damn it. Work. It's absolutely not working. Anyway, people have pointed this out. This is notorious at this point. There's a plaque. USS Enterprise, Galaxy Class, Starfleet Registry, NCC 1701D. To boldly go where no one has gone before. It is misspelled, and in honor of that, actually, I have misspelled it in the description as well. If you've read the description, good on you. Most people probably haven't. But in every single description of all the live streams I've done so far, I've misspelled it because it's misspelled here. To boldy. I mean, Picard is bald, so there's that, I suppose. He's a baldy. New Speed Champions coming out on the 1st of January. I can tell you, I can't wait to build this one in the new year. Yeah, honestly, it is baffling that LEGO fucked up on this one. It really is, because these are not mistakes that you should make as LEGO. This is like really, really embarrassing. And you know what the funny thing is? Apparently, this is what I saw and what people might not know about it. Apparently, LEGO has issued a re-sticker where they did make the quotes right, but then they fucked up the little logo above USS Enterprise, because the logo of Starfleet is, of course, the like arrowy thing, but then the circle behind it. And on the new sticker, there's no circle behind it. So they corrected the quote and then fucked up the logo. LEGO, we pay a lot of money for these things. You fucked up. You fucked up. You know, I'm smiling about it because I already bought the set, but I'm the sucker who bought the set. Yes, they should proofread it. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it honestly just seems at times that LEGO is like rushing out their products when we ask for quality. We don't ask for quantity. I don't think there has ever been a person who's like, we're not getting enough Lego sets, especially considering that apparently this year, 2025, we got about 950 new different Lego sets. 950. I think I am already getting a lot of sets myself. I got about well, how many did I get? I got the logo, I got Jango Fett, Starship, Slave 1, Chopper, I got this one, I got the Venator, and I got the ATST. That's 6 sets. I think that's quite a lot. 6 new different, of course, not all of them came out this year, but there are all different sets. And actually 5 of those came out this year. So from this year, out of the 950, I got 5 of them, 5 pretty big ones. And that's a lot. That honestly is a lot of sets. So considering that, me as a big Lego fan, I got 5, and you're giving us 950 every year, Lego, it's okay if you tone down the amount of sets. If you need a little bit more time to make it good, proofread stuff and that kind of stuff, do that, please. Because you will not hear the fucking end of it if you fuck up. The issue with the USS Enterprise is that I wouldn't get this if it wasn't so fucking crucial to finally get Star Trek sets. Like, this is the very first Star Trek set, and it's not my favorite. It's not the one that I would usually go for. I got it because everyone else should get it if you want more Star Trek sets. That's the only message that you can send Lego. If we, as a community, as everyone who loves Star Trek, who wants more Lego Star Trek, if we can say to Lego, we want more of this, please give it to us, then I'll buy the set. Even though it's definitely not my favorite version of the Enterprise even. It's my least favorite. But I got it. So considering I spent, actually I only spent 280 euros on this because I used my insider's point for it. And of course I got the gift with purchases, which I can either sell or enjoy myself. Hey Vlad, I have gone live in a while, you just haven't caught me, but if you have paid attention, I went live last Thursday, last Tuesday, or the Tuesday before that. I go live every week, so you might have just missed my streams. But I do go live about every week, and I'll go live again next week. I don't know when though, because Thursday is Christmas, and I'm not going to go live on Christmas, but I do have to figure out a day next week to go live, because of course I do want to finish this up. I'm probably going to go live on Sunday as well. Sunday evening. Look out for that. But you built this one? That will be in the next build that I'm going to do here. Also, is it yet another giant gray set? Yes, it is. That's Star Wars for you. And Star Trek, by the way, because this is also a big gray set. Better than the renders, what I see in reviews. Well, look, I was just talking about this. If Lego makes a mistake, they will not hear the end of it, especially these days. Because it very much just seems like Lego is making entirely too many mistakes simply because they are rushing out sets. They're like, ooh, let's make this set, let's make that set. They are trying to make all the fucking sets. And I'm just thinking like, Lego, it's okay if you don't make 950 different sets every year. Just proofread it, check everything, that it's okay. It's fine. Like that's the biggest thing with Lego. We expect a certain quality because all the knockoff sets, like all the knockoff brands from Lego, like Blue Bricks and whatnot, those are of course going to not be as good quality because they're just a knockoff. So, and they're cheaper. So they're allowed to make those mistakes. Lego is not allowed to make these mistakes. Lego is goddamn expensive. If you are this expensive, we expect a good quality from you. It's that simple. Anyway, the barcode decoration here represents the windows of the Arboretum. Okay, so that's the sticker piece that they need. Also, really want a speeder bike, but there's no actual detailed speeder bikes. Did find a nice mock. Yeah. I will say, if this one is still available, which is the Endor diorama, this has very good speeder bikes. It's a very nice set. So if that's still available, I'm not entirely sure because I know it released about 2 years ago at Star Wars Celebration. It might be out of business already. I'm gonna check this now. Brick set. Brick set. Endor diorama. Endor speed. Yeah, that one. Is this thing still available? I'm trying to check. Oh no, it's not available since a year already. Damn it. Well, I'm sorry about that. It's a good set. Most recent, even though it's retired. Yeah, it is retired. Lego Star Wars is always going to be expensive. That's Lego Star Wars, yeah. Not much you can do about it. But let's be fair. Lego Star Trek, this is the very first set, and it's also very expensive. Like I said this earlier, the only reason that I didn't get it for like the 380 is because I had 100 euros worth of insiders points that I could use. So I bought it for 280. So better price in that regard, and I got the gift with purchases with it, so that's cool. Still expensive. More Lego Dune, yeah, please. I mean, I have to. I will say though. I will say one thing. As much as I love Dune, and as much as I love Lego, I did not love the Ornithopter, but that's because it's a Technic set. I'm not a big fan of Technic. But yeah, more Lego Dune would be cool, especially considering I think Dune Messiah is coming out at the end of 2026. You would probably expect some kind of Lego set around that. Even though Dune is not really for kids, it's still, I think, PG-13, so that's okay enough to do Lego. So, should be. Licensed sets. Yeah, licensed sets are expensive. This is, by the way, oh shit, I got this one the wrong way. Yeah, licensed sets are definitely more expensive because you have to pay for that license. Oh boy. Well, then I have something to round about with the ATST bill. We'll see about it. Shit, I fucked up. But yeah, in terms of Lego Dune, like I adore the two movies by Villeneuve, and I think the book is excellent. And considering we're getting the third one next year, definitely something that Lego could look into. Though I do wonder, like, what kind of set you would make. Legs to hold it up. Yeah, I will say though, I'm okay with a little bit of Technic because most of the like the UCS sets have like a Technic core to hold it up because Technic is very strong. But yeah, with the Dune Ornithopter, that was a complete Technic set, and some of the pieces were just so small and very annoying for my fingers that I was like, ugh. Did not really enjoy that one. It's a beautiful set, though. I'm very glad that I have it. And there are like, it has like 7 or 8 minifigures, which is a lot. God Emperor of Dune. God Emperor. Considering the new movie will not have a God Emperor of Dune, it might have Leto though. It might have Leto the second. Leto the second, by the way. Would they go there? Would they go there? Considering how they have handled the first two movies with Villeneuve, I don't think they're going to go there. I think that's just a bit too wacky. Also, considering what they did with the Dune Prophecy TV show, it's just like Dune's crazy, sure, but the way they presented this new version is not that crazy. There's that. This dish is going to be huge, by the way. Yeah, it's pretty big. Anyway, now that there are a couple of people watching, I have a question. Have you liked the stream? Because if you're chatting away and you're watching me, I can only assume you like it. So please give me a like. It helps the channel. I don't think Children of Dune necessarily has to be 2 parts. Personally, if you look at the early 2000s miniseries, for example, the early 2000s miniseries, like the very first miniseries that they did, I think it's called Frank Herbert's Dune. That's 3 episodes. I say episodes, by the way. They're an hour and a half per episode, so it's like 4.5 hours in total. That covers the entire first book. Then the second series that they did are again 3 episodes of an hour and a half, and they do 2 books. They do Messiah and Children of Dune. So I think you should be able to do Children of Dune in one movie. A long movie, like make it 3 hours long, but that's fine. I think we have gotten to the point where we accept the fact that as long as you make a good movie, we're going to accept the runtime of 3 hours, even though it is long. But hey, I just watched the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy again. Those are long. We can accept long runtimes sometimes, you know. Oh, and by the way, I did watch the extended version, so like in the case of like the extended Lord of the Rings, the first movie is 3.5 hours, and the last one is 4 hours. And I don't mind the long runtime because they're good. As long as they're good, that's fine. Like, for example, one example of a movie that I watched recently where I felt like, you know, the runtime was not representative are the 2 Wicked movies. The first Wicked movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and to me it flies by. To me, honestly, I don't really feel that it's necessarily all that long. The second Wicked movie is shorter. Wait, did I fuck this up? No, right? Supposed to sit down. Oh, fuck it. Yeah. The second Wicked movie is shorter by about 25 minutes, and I felt it was longer simply because it's just not paced as well. That's my opinion of it. Familiar with the Willet Falcon thing? I'm not. Fun, you should grab some random sets of fun Lego I've done in a while. No, I'm not familiar with it, but I will say when it comes to the Legos that I buy, pretty much everything that I buy is not necessarily because of the fun experience with Lego. I buy it because of what they are, like what they represent. So things that I know from movies that I want to put down as a display piece. Because I don't play with Legos, I put it down. I build it and put it down as a display piece because it looks cool. Because like, yeah, the majority is from Star Wars, and the other majority is also from movies. Get some random sets, turn it into Falcon. Instantly get it. Trend originally started since the Falcon use. If I don't forget, I'll look it up. But again, I might forget. No, I get what you're saying. And then you need to turn it around. Sometimes I'm just so confused when you need to turn something around that I'm like, what step am I looking at? Yeah. And bag number 19. So bags 16, 17, 18 have made this so far. This is going to be something, quite something. Like I honestly underestimated the saucer section a bit, I think. But that's cool though. It gets nice when Lego impresses you a bit, right? Anyway, bag number 19 with a minifigure. And it's not just a minifigure. It's the character on my shirt, Data. Look, I will say that I also didn't. I also wasn't really into Star Trek all that much earlier in life. Like I finally got to see. I finally got to see all the movies a little over 10 years ago, around the time that the Kelvin Timeline movies were coming out. I think I saw like Star Trek '09 and Star Trek Into Darkness around the time that Into Darkness came out. And I enjoyed those, but let's be fair, those movies are Star Wars movies. They're not really Star Trek movies, but you know that's the reason why I like them, and I have no problem admitting that. No, it's fine. So, like, yeah, about like let's say 12 years ago, I got into the entire Star Trek thing because it was there were new movies coming out, and then I went back and watched the old movies as well, and then only this year I finished watching all of the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. That took a while for me to get through. So I have. Can these sirens stop, please? Fuck off. Um, we're done. I think we're done. So yeah, like it took quite a while for me to get through all of the Star Trek shows. I haven't seen everything just yet. I haven't seen Enterprise. I have only seen parts of the original series, but let's be fair, the original series is old. I've seen all the movies several times, and I've seen a bunch of the new stuff. But yeah, it just takes some time to get used to. So if you haven't gotten into Star Trek just yet, that's fine. I think a good introduction is 2009 movie. Especially if you like Star Wars, you'll like the 2009 movie, believe me. Anyway, we have character on my shirt, Data, played by Brent Spiner, with his cat, Spot. He has a cat. It's cute. Lieutenant Commander Data, of course, second in command. No, I'm saying that wrong, I think. He's the second officer. So Picard is captain, first in command. Second in command is Riker, Commander Riker, who I already have with his trombone. And then Data is the second officer. So third in command. Lieutenant Commander Data's cat is named Spot, even though the cat playing the role that did not, in fact, have spotted fur. Oh yeah, he doesn't have spotted fur. It's just an orange cat. Right. Description of the show says it's basically a crew of people exploring the galaxy. Sounded like bored, to be honest, but I can't judge it by fake description. That's in Star Trek. I mean, yeah, it's a crew of people exploring the galaxy, but I will say there are some episodes that you're not gonna like, and that's fine. I honestly just think, like, regardless of what episode you're watching, even if it's a bad one, it's fine. I think everyone just needs something to watch. But when Star Trek gets good, it gets really fucking good. And there are some extremely awesome science fiction concepts going on in the show. Look, and also it's very different to Star Wars because, let's be fair, Star Wars is fantasy. It's science fiction second. It's mainly fantasy because you have space wizards and princesses and laser swords and a magical entity as the Force. This is stuff that you don't have in Star Trek. Star Trek is based on science fiction. Now, does Star Trek get a little bit too far with it sometimes? Sure. But in general, they try to make it science fiction. Of course, Star Trek is set in our own universe. They have Earth. People are from Earth, most of them. Like Star Wars doesn't even have Earth. So that's the difference. That's a big difference. But the main reason that Star Trek and Star Wars are being compared, like the main reason that they're being compared is because they have star. This is the extent of people's brains, by the way. Like people see thing and star thing and star thing. Oh, they must be the same. No, they're not. It's the association, you know. Oh, for fuck's sake, I need to build this twice. Oh. So, and actually, Star Trek and Star Wars owe each other things throughout history because Star Trek was first. Let's be fair. The original series of Star Trek aired in 1966, 11 years before Star Wars. This was even before George Lucas started to make films. George Lucas was mostly inspired by other things that he saw. Like he was very much inspired by Flash Gordon, also Dune, because Dune came out in 1965, the book. So George Lucas was inspired by that, but because of the fact that he had seen Star Trek work on TV, he was like, I'm gonna make my own thing. I'm gonna call it Star Wars. And that was a huge hit. And because of the fact that he made a big blockbuster movie out of it, then Star Trek was like, now we're gonna make a giant blockbuster movie out of it. So 2 years after Star Wars came out, we got Star Trek the Motion Picture. Now, is Star Trek the Motion Picture a good movie? No, don't watch it. It's terrible. Like, honestly, don't. You can watch the second one, though, Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan. Now, that's a good movie. And the funny thing is, you can watch The Wrath of Khan without having seen any of the Star Trek before it. You will understand the movie, believe me. So, like, in a sense, Star Trek helped Star Wars exist, and then Star Wars made sure that we got Star Trek movies. So they owe each other a little bit. And the only reason that there are like petty fans who are like, ooh, this one is better, ooh, that one is better, is simply because star name. This is how simple people's minds are sometimes. They're not open to whatever. Because I can tell you, the majority of Star Wars fans probably hasn't even seen Star Trek properly. I now need to turn around again. Not confusing whatsoever. No. Also, say what you will about Star Trek. At least Star Trek didn't make special editions of their movies. Like, at least Gene Roddenberry was like, oh, well, the motion picture sucks. We all know the motion picture sucks. Let it suck. Let it be. You know what's funny? A friend of mine has never seen Star Wars. I'm going to introduce her to watching Star Wars. And I'm just thinking, what if I don't start with the first movie? I am going to start with the first movie, but there's a part of me tempted to start with The Force Awakens, for example, just to see how it would be if I start with a different movie. Because honestly, I think The Force Awakens is an excellent introduction to Star Wars. Vlog, you have come to the wrong channel to say those things. Last Jedi is kind of my second favorite movie in the franchise. Like, that's not a joke. Last Jedi actually is my second favorite movie in the franchise. 9, on the other hand, The Rise of Skywalker, burn it with fucking fire. Do not care about that movie. Not one bit. No, but I'm gonna start her off with Star Wars, the original, but my own version of it. Oh. Well, that's just it. I loved 7 and 8. Like, to me, 8 made perfect sense after 7. 9 just didn't make any sense because that's the moment when Disney decided to course correct and fuck it up entirely instead of sticking with what they were going with. Like, you know what the funny thing is? Rise of Skywalker is honestly one of the craziest experiences with a movie that I've ever had. Because when it comes to The Rise of Skywalker, the first time, I think I just tricked myself into liking it. And every single time that I've seen it since, I like it less and less and less. And now it's very much towards the bottom of my list. See, now that's where you're wrong. 8 got Luke's character perfect. But that's one thing that a lot of people don't agree with me with, which is fine. Look, you know what the funny thing is? When I first saw Last Jedi, and every single time that I have since, I knew that I liked the movie, and I also knew that that people would not like it. I watched that movie, and I was like, I know exactly that people are not going to like this movie, but I fucking love it. I loved Luke's character arc in that movie. That was one thing that I was actually really glad about, that that Rian Johnson took a big swing. He did take a big swing in terms of changing Luke's character, but let's be fair, Luke's character is not the protagonist of 8. Rey is the protagonist, as has been established in The Force Awakens. Luke is not the protagonist of the story anymore. He was in the original trilogy because he was the person that we as an audience saw everything through. In the sequel trilogy, we're watching everything through Rey. That's why Luke is a different character. Also, Luke is a different character than Legends. And I'm sorry to say, Legends Luke is not a good character. He is way too OP and not all that interesting. That's my opinion. But that's one thing that like a lot of people expected Legends Luke to appear. Spoiler alert, this is not a Legends version. This is they changed the story. So if they changed how it went, I think the Luke that we meet in The Last Jedi is exactly the Luke that I would think we would have by that point, after 30 years, considering what had happened. And I also think that a lot of people completely missed the point of the flashback sequence. How did his lightsaber end up with Maz? I don't know. I don't know. That's still a question that I have to this day, but I don't think we're going to get an answer for that. I think it's very much just a case of Maz Kanata at one point decided to go to Bespin and was like, ooh, lightsaber. I don't think it's that interesting of a story, so whatever. Like, I don't even care anymore. What I do care about is what the fuck happened to his green lightsaber. I wanted to see a green lightsaber. See, this is the thing. Everyone gets the flashback sequence wrong. Everyone misinterprets it to the point where they say, oh, Luke wanted to kill a kid. No! Luke didn't want to kill a kid. What the fuck do you think? This, like, I don't want to get into the Last Jedi debate. Because this is, the thing is, the people who don't like The Last Jedi are not going to get convinced by me here, I feel. The point of the flashback is the same, it's by the way, it's a very classic storyteller's thing that was introduced in movies long ago. I think a very popular movie to have done it was Rashomon, which is directed by Akira Kurosawa, where essentially the flashbacks go in a sequence where the first time you see the flashback, you see it from one person's perspective, a subjective perspective. The second time you see the flashback, you see it from the other person's perspective, which is also subjective. The third time you see it is when Luke essentially admits that there is there's merit to Ben's perspective as well, and that is about the most objective version that you're going to get of that story. It's not entirely objective, I feel, and you do have to take into account that that Ben Solo / Kylo Ren had his version of it, but the third time we see it is about what you need, and you need to closely listen to the words that Luke says, because a lot of people say, "Oh, he just wanted to kill a kid." No, if you closely listen to what he says, I think it's different. I think it's more nuanced, and I think that The Last Jedi did a lot of things that are a lot more nuanced and layered than people give it credit for. But a lot of people kind of wrote off the movie the moment that Poe made a joke about Hux's mom, which I'm fine with. Like, it didn't bother me so much, but apparently that opening sequence pissed people off so much that they were like, why is he making jokes about his mom? It doesn't matter. It's stupid. If you don't like it, whatever, move on. But people already discredit the movie simply because they made a joke about that. Ooh, big whoop. But like the entire theme of The Last Jedi is failure, and how failure can be a teacher, actually. Like, I personally think one extremely good point about The Last Jedi is all the failures that happen throughout the movie. And failure is very harsh and very confronting, and a lot of people aren't able to deal with failure properly. Which is fair. It's very fair. Failure is difficult for people to accept. And that's why people, I think, don't like The Last Jedi. because they are confronted with failure, with a person failing, and then another person failing, and then another person failing. Also, I didn't try to convince you to watch The Last Jedi, but go ahead, I suppose. But the point of The Last Jedi is every single person fails, even the bad guys. The bad guys fail at the end because they still let the good guys go, you know. So, and that is actually kind of what I really like about it, because I am a person who really likes to confront someone else if I have an issue with them. A lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people, if they have an issue with someone, they want to essentially avoid confrontation. They don't like to be confronted with that. I do, which I have learned over the years. A lot of people don't like that. So I can do, and that's what I also said about. Wait, I don't need to make this twice, do I? Fuck, I do. All right, so not trying to hate watch it while the last time. Yeah, don't go into it trying to hate watch it. Try to go into it with an open mind, because like I personally think The Last Jedi has a lot of important lessons, very some of them quite nuanced, and don't yeah like there are a lot of things that The Last Jedi does where if you take it at face value, you probably think it's stupid. But I very much understood a lot of things that The Last Jedi did, and seeing that, understanding what Ryan Johnson was trying to do with it, I'm like, I thought it was very clever from my perspective. Of course, you might not agree with that. You might not like it, even if you rewatch it right now. That's up to you, of course. But to me, The Last Jedi did a lot of things right. The one thing that I didn't like about The Last Jedi, I do have a certain appreciation for what they were trying to do, but it's Finn. Finn's character with Rose, with DJ. Rose and DJ are unfortunately not the best characters, and that entire storyline was just not the best storyline. But I can forgive that, considering I got some of the best Luke stuff, and that's where I differ with a lot of people. A lot of people say, "Oh, they ruined Luke," because they were like a lot of people were just expecting an OP Legends version of Luke. I wasn't. I wasn't expecting that. I went into the movie with I went into it completely open, accepting whatever they would show, as long as I would be able to accept it. So when I saw Luke as a broken man who has lost everything in his life, I was like, sure, that makes sense to me. The way it's presented in the movie, it made sense to me. But a lot of people seem to have already written off Luke simply because he wasn't the OP power, the OP version that we got in Legends. Which makes me very glad that I've never met that version of Luke, because I've heard of that version of Luke and I've read about him a little bit, but I'm like, y'all, I feel like that's a bit of an unrealistic version of the character, because it's just a perfect character. And I'm sorry, there are no perfect characters. You can't have that. You need to have conflict within your character. You need to have something happening to him, and then at the end, coming good again, because that's what I really loved about Luke. At the beginning of the movie, he is an old man who's failed a lot in his life. Again, theme of failure. But at the end of the movie, he steps. And by the way, it's funny that he says at the beginning of the movie, "What do you think? I'm going to step up and face the entire First Order?" He literally does that at the end of the movie, and I think that's an extremely good character arc for him, where in doing so, he distracts Kylo Ren and the entire First Order enough for everyone to get away. That's how you do a character arc. So as I said, I think Luke is perfect in that movie, as presented. And I don't want to just dismiss him because the very first thing that he does is throw a lightsaber over his shoulder. It's a bit of a shock. It's like, wait, what just happened? But it gets you interested. It got me interested. It's a hook of like, why did he throw the lightsaber away? And then you want to learn more about it. At least I did. No. And just to be clear, I understand that people don't like The Last Jedi. I have understood this since the very first time I watched it, even before I saw people complain about it. It is very understandable that people don't like the movie. That's okay. We can all have different opinions. I'm just giving my take on what I saw with the movie. And in terms of what I saw for criticism for the movie, I am of the opinion that a lot of people got certain things wrong and that they simply dismissed things a little bit too quickly. Where I'm like, I think there's more to this movie that you might want to take another look at. Just pointing that out. Also, I definitely didn't mean to convince you to go watch The Last Jedi right now. If anything, come watch The Force Awakens tomorrow with me live in a watch along. I mentioned this earlier. Tomorrow evening, night, we're going to do a watch along of The Force Awakens. There's a link in the description if you're interested. Excuse me. Surprise, surprise. I start talking about The Last Jedi and I lose my viewership. How is it that 8 years after the movie came out, we still got like such heated debates about the movie? Okay, so where do these go? You know what the funny thing is? These are the type of things that Star Trek doesn't really deal with. There is not a single piece of content in the entire history of Star Trek that is as controversial as The Last Jedi. That's funny. Anyway, I need a glass of water. I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, sorry for bumping. I hope that wasn't too loud. All right. Oh, I've lost my viewership. So, any videos I can watch? Not sure. Oh, All right. I think I'm gonna call it right now. I've been going for almost 2 hours, and in terms of numbered bags, and like I want to do two more streams, so this is about it for now. So as I said, I will be back on Sunday. I'm not entirely sure, but probably around the same time, like Sunday evening, I'll be back here. It's pretty dirty. So yeah, Sunday evening, I'll be back here streaming the next part of the Enterprise. I will say this was pretty repetitive. This was not the most fun build experience. But luckily, I got a pretty good build experience in this. It's just, yeah, the saucer, you're going to have like the same kind of elements. So that's a little unfortunate, a little bit of a knock on it. Other than that, I still very much enjoy the set. Yeah, I will be back on Sunday at least because I do want to make sure that I have one more stream in before the Christmas week. Then after that, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be doing streaming next week, but we'll see about that. Of course, on Saturday, another review for The Mandalorian. This will be Season 2, Episode 4, The Siege. I already have the video done, so it's ready to go on Saturday, 3 p.m. Tune in for that one. Thank you guys for joining me today in the chat. A couple of guys chatted, so thank you for that. Please leave a like on the video if you haven't already, and if you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment. Helps the channel, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so. Usually, of course, this is a Star Wars channel. I did have Star Wars discussion today, but you know, Star Wars and Star Trek, we can live in harmony. We can live together. It's fine. You don't have to be a fan of one, and you can't be a fan of the other. You can be a fan of both. Like me, you know, I'm a fan of both. So yeah. With that said, of course, my usual Star Wars greeting doesn't go. So until the next scene, live long and prosper.